Right, this is where I am with the anti-roll bar. Basically, I've got the MR2 one, which is this one here, which is a solid bar. The Aldi rear one is a bit of hollow tube. The reason obviously being that the amount of weight on the back of the MR2 has to take into account that there's an engine now, whereas the Aldi one doesn't. Now, because of my limitations on space, I've got to fabricate a completely new anti-roll bar. So for both sides I've cut there, sleeved a bit of solid bar, 20mm bar, and then tigged it, being the best sort of weld. And then what I'm going to do is get a couple of impact sockets which are 19mm. I'm going to weld this to here. I'll probably sleeve it in there a little bit, and imagine this is a bit of hex bar, which is these two nuts are sort of associated as hex bar. That will fit in there. With it being bolted through this end, it will hold it all in place. The hex bar will go right across to to the back in this, where this little bit of plastic tube is. That's where it's going to sit, and it will come through this hole that I've drilled, and it'll do the profiled bends all the way around and fit onto the drop link. Just to make sure it all fits, I have in fact put the wheel on this side, and I don't know if you can actually see it, you probably can't, but basically the other one's up there, and I've got plenty of clearance from the back of the wheel to there. These are 7Js. I'll be putting 9Js I think on the back, so the offset will be slightly different as well, because these sit a little bit in, so I can bring them out a bit further. By the way, this is actually how the wheel sits, no spaces or nothing. That's why I was so glad when I did the A8. The rear suspension is absolutely perfect, and the track width is spot on for what I need. So hang on a second. Right, going back to the anti-roll bar, I've done a lot of internet research regarding what type of roll bar and what I need to use, and basically it's a bit of a fallacy regarding sprung steel, because the modulus of elasticity of steel against sprung steel, there's not that much difference. So if you've got a bar, say for instance this bar, if there's not a lot of torsional difference between this side and this side, in other words, if you don't want it to roll too much, the actual modulus of elasticity on a standard bit of mild steel bar will quite happily cope with that slight twist. So I'm going to use a bit of 19mm hex bar. Now, because I'm going into a socket there, if I feel the 19mm hex is too stiff, which I don't think it will because this is 20mm bar as well, solid bar anyway, I can actually machine the anti-roll bar to be 17mm or whatever I want it to be. Because I can take it off and join it here, the only thing I ever need to change is the long anti-roll bar itself, because my actual machined parts, which will be here, will always be the same. So the bushes will always be the same, the mounting point will always be the same. To give you an idea, I've got a bit right, this is a bit of 20mm bar, basically the same as the MR2 one. This, if you can see it, this is the front anti-roll bar, which takes care of the engine. So really my concern, because this is like a 30mm bar, to give you a size comparison, I think I'll have more of a problem with the front than with the back. And and I may have to change that and down rank that a little bit because it seems a little bit too much. The Audi A8 engine in the front, all that weight. But mind you, they always say a stiffer anti-roll bar on the front, suspension gives you a little bit of oversteer rather than understeer, so we'll see. Anyway, that's where I am today, and that's it. Oh, just as an added extra, this little lot is all to do with the ECU, and that's just from the Audi. The Toyota, which is down here, this little lot, I haven't even touched it, but the wiring diagrams I've got are quite precise and detailed, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Anyway, that's it, signed off for today. Bye.